few days ago, I found myself reminiscing and feeling all nostalgic as I thought about an old save of mine. I don't know about you guys, but I often think back to the saves that I've done in the past, the ones that mean the most to me. And just a couple of days ago, I was thinking about this save here. It's my Hertha Berlin save from FM20 way back in Football Manager 2020. And in today's video, I'm hoping you'll indulge me as I tell you the story of this save, because to me, it was special, and I think I'll call it my best ever Football Manager save. So let me tell you the story. Let's jump back in time to FM20. Come on. Hello, welcome back to the channel. Today, I'm going to start what I hope is going to become a little bit of a series. I'm going to go and ask different creators from the world of FM to tell me all about their best ever saves. And we're going to start with a special guest on the channel today. And that guest, it's me. We're going to start with my best ever save. And as I mentioned in that intro there, it's this save from FM20, my Hertha Berlin save. Now, this is what got me started in content creation. I wanted to start streaming. This is my first ever proper stream save. And there's lots of people who watch my channel, either here on YouTube or over on Twitch, who will remember this save as it is the OG. And today I want to tell you all about it because I think there's something in that. There's talking about Football Manager and the stories, the narratives that you talk about. We talk about that a lot on this channel, don't we? That's the magic of this game. And we've had some videos recently where we've talked about the new game, FM25, and some worries and concerns we have around it. We talked about how we'd fix Football Manager. I think we need to celebrate the magic that is Football Manager by going back and just what got us started in this game. Maybe you're new to the game. Maybe you've been playing it for years and years like me. I want to tell you about my best ever save, though. The one that really captured the pure essence of what I think makes FM the best game that's ever been released. This here is the Hertha Berlin save from FM20. Now, cast your minds back. FM20 was a strange old world as we started playing this game. COVID had just hit. We were all locked down. We couldn't leave our houses. And so I'm sure that it wasn't just me that racked up the hours in FM20. In fact, let me just check. Yeah, I played 2,221 hours of this game. That is very much a decent indicator that this was very much a lockdown game. I played the living Jesus out of this particular Football Manager iteration. Maybe you guys did too. I actually only made it to 2031 in this save, which really, considering all the hours, I did do lots of other things, of course. We had another big save with Malvern, which is right up there. It was a magical time for FM. Obviously, in the world, it wasn't great, but in terms of gaming, it was fantastic, wasn't it? This was what we ended up with. We ended up supremely dominant in the Bundesliga with a team for the ages. If I just show you, I mean, it was, like I said, dominant. We won our first title in 2023 here with Hertha Berlin and then won it every single season until 2030. 31. I don't know why, but I just didn't get bored. I think it was because of the players that I managed to develop, the new gens that just became like legends to me, like serious legends to me. And as we do this series, as I'm hoping it will become, if you've got an idea of who you think I should ask to come onto the series and chat about their best ever saves, and let me know in the comments down below. And also in today's video, please let me know what your best ever saves have been. What was it that made it so magical? Which is the save that stands out when someone says, what was your best ever time that you had in this game, Football Manager? This man here, which we are going to come on to, was a big part of this. This guy, in fact, let's go straight into it. The biggest legend that I've ever had in any save ever, and I don't even know what it was that made him so magical to me, but Egor Khilman is a new gen striker in this save, and he is everything to me. He's actually, the fact that we didn't even finish his career and we ended up, he was only 26 is so sad. And I mean, you might even be looking at him and thinking, is he that good? He was. All right, I'm going to tell you. His attributes don't quite show it, but he was so good to us. And I loved him. It was at this stage I was putting real faces in for the new gen. So when you see some players here and you're like, who on earth is that? It's because I put real faces in. This guy here, who I would still love to know who this actually is, became Egor Khilman. It's a fantastic name, isn't it? He's a Belarusian striker born in Molodechno in Belarus, who we signed at the age of like 17, 18 from a Belgian team, Eupen, for £10 million. And he went on to play, was it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 seasons for us and was just superb. Great goal scoring record. It's not even like, it's not silly. I've obviously scored more goals with strikers in FM since this point, but this guy was just, it was the first real one that I think I fell in love with in terms of a new gen, I think. Had a great average rating. The reason I was reminiscing about this save is because on Twitter, people were all talking about the Barclays-man, and I made a compilation of Egor Khilman's goals because I wanted to jump on the trend, but also I wanted to reminisce about my striker in the game. This guy was everything. He won so many. I mean, if we just go back, I think this season we did win the Champions League in the final game. We did. We won 2-0, look, Champions League final against Man City. And he scored both goals in it. In fact, I just want to reminisce as well about FM20. I want to watch the goals with you, or at least let's watch the first one. The second one's a penalty, just so you can see the match engine. Obviously, with FM25 coming out, we want to see how many improvements is going to be made in that regard. Look how old school this looks, and I mean, I actually think it still looks quite good. I like how green the grass is in there. Mbappe plays it across. Khilman scores. Look, these are all custom kits. Can I pause it? No, these are all custom kits, like 3D kits that I put into the game and had made for the save. He scores the first there, then he scores the penalty in the second half. We beat Man City. We won another Champions League. They've got Jude Bellingham, by the way. Look, and Frankie de Jong. Jude Bellingham looking very young there, 27 years old, playing for Manchester City. He went to Spurs and then he went to City. He went to Southampton, Spurs, and then City in this save. Yeah, we won ourselves the Champions League. Look at the kits. Today's video is going to be a little bit haphazard and just very much reminiscing. We're going to just jump into my save. Hopefully you enjoy this type of thing. I know that we do lots of like sharing best new gens and sharing best saves and things. So hopefully it's along the same sort of lines as that and you're going to enjoy it. It's just going to be me hanging out with you guys, having a chat. Very, very informal, but hopefully you enjoy this type of thing. Here's me, look. I mean, even the photo is a bit old school. Look at that. I was wearing the Hertha Berlin hat, which I think was a channel reward in the Twitch chat that you could make me put the hat on. Things have changed. It's a long time ago, this. Like 5 years ago now, basically, right? Here, why am I very close with Michael Beale? I have no recollection of that. Lionel Messi were an acquaintance. He's now a manager. I'm pretty sure. I had him as an under-19s coach. Because of course I did, right, in this save. There's me with my lovely hat on. Egor Khilman is my vice captain. Some of these players, I just wanted to show you the kits, actually. That's why I jumped to here. Lovely. These aren't the actual kits, are they? These are the real life kits. I haven't got it loaded in because I haven't got any of the stuff there. If I remember, I'll chuck them up on the screen in the video now so you can see the custom kits that I did put in. Obviously, they're not actually loaded in right now. Let's jump into the squad. Then I'll show you some of the characters that were made, and then we'll go through some of the history of the save too. Obviously, as you've seen, we've won the league pretty much every season, so there's not much to talk about there. It was an 82-point season this year. What was the best one? And maybe that's the place to look. 90-point season. Remember, it's 34 games rather than 38, so the points total will be a little bit lower. Lost 2 games. I don't think we did an unbeaten season. We just won the league every year. That year we got 68 points and won it by a point. Look, in 2023-24. And then that was, the season before we came second, look. Then we won it for the first time and then didn't ever look back after that because Bayern were rubbish. I remember we finally got our title because Bayern fell off for a year and came fourth. So we got our league title. Didn't look back from there. Let's look at the squad because there's so many. If you watch this save, I want you to let me know in the comments, actually. If you remember watching this save on Twitch, please do let me know because you are a serious true OG of the channel if that is you. The goalkeeper was a man called Christian Sassoni, who was very, very good. One of the best keepers I think I've ever had on the game. And actually, something that was magic about this was I don't think I was as focused on things like attributes during this time. It was more vibes. I was playing the game on vibes, and it was quite a fun time because of that. Nowadays, things become a little bit more meta. You play the game so much, obviously make content on it, as I do, that I can really look at the meta and min-max everything to get the most out of the game. Whereas back then, I think I was a little bit more just relaxed with everything, and that there was probably better keepers in the game, but this guy was the guy that I got. And we signed him for 64 million, played every game pretty much. Like, he missed 1 league game in 6 seasons there, and was just, I mean, this was back in a time when average ratings didn't exist for a goalkeeper, but he was very solid. I remember him being great. This guy in at right back, Davide Costantino, I think he used to be, he was one of the first big signings we made. 87 million, look, back in 2024-25. Another one that played pretty much every game. Obviously, at this stage, you want to rotate a little bit because we had other good players. But look at his average ratings. They were great from right back. Marco Aurelio, Luciano Alenia. Was Alenia Brazilian as well? No, Argentinian. So a Brazilian and an Argentinian at centre-back. This guy was good. This guy would be great in today's game, wouldn't he? 6'5", good jumping reach, really quick as well. Great heading. Not good passing, but maybe I just kind of didn't bother with that because he was really good in the air and would score headers. Did he score goals? Not really, but average ratings were right up there. Of course, we were dominant in the league, so that is going to be the case too. Alenia, he was a little bit of a later introduction. Yeah, it's only his first season in the team, but I remember I mean, if I went to the under-19s and the B team here, this was my favourite save because I managed to have everything on lock. Like, I had the most amazing youth teams and players coming through and so many players out on loan, and I was just, yeah, this guy, look, loan until he was good enough to be in the first team, and now whilst he's good enough, he's in there playing. This guy, look at the attributes, the physical attributes on my left back, Jalinho Cha. What a man. Just, I mean, not great in other regards. Can't cross the ball, but 19 acceleration, 17 pace, 17 agility. Just a physical monster down the left-hand side. 57 million he was signed for and then played every game after that. In the midfield, this guy became a DM. I'll tell you what as well, someone I want to mention. Again, I told you it's going to be haphazard and back and forth. A icon. Remember this back in the day, it was legends on this side, and then on the right-hand side, favoured personnel. They've swapped it, of course, these days, haven't they? I'm looking for Arne Meyer. Arne Meyer he's favoured personnel. This guy held down our midfield for years and years at the start. There you go, look, he was there so long. I had to make the heartbreaking decision to sell him when he was no longer a starter, but he is a real-life player for Hertha Berlin, or he was at that stage. He held down our midfield for years and was fantastic. We played like a 4-3-3. It's called Das Register because this guy used to be a Register before I changed it. We also had one that's called Mit Karacho, which is 2 strikers. We switched between these two formations, these two tactics. Have a look at the star ratings on here. It's lovely to see, isn't it? But yeah, Arne Meyer, I wanted to mention him. He was replaced eventually by players like Rijkaard. Just look at that agility and pace for a defensive midfielder who's got, I mean, he's only got 13 passing, but some of these mental attributes, he was also very, very good dictating the tempo in there. He was good. He came in fairly recently, a couple of seasons, look, he came in for. Back to the squad. I'm loving going through these players. Now, this guy was my most expensive ever signing, and I want you to let me know what you think of him because I think he is sensational. Andreas Drack was a monster. 6'5" in our midfield, 20 balance, 19 acceleration, 17 pace, 15 passing, 17 technique. Look at the mental attributes. 18, 19 flair from a centre mid who's 6'5". What a monster. There was actually an annoying story with him, and that was that I was about to sign him for I think about 90 million. I think I forgot to save it, and you know, it was on stream and I forgot to save it and then left and then came back on, and by the time I could sign him again, I had to then sign him for 144 million. So I made a big mistake there, but either way, we got him in and look how good he is now. He's really, really good. By the way, this save, every single game, there was no game played offline. Every single game was played live on Twitch, which I don't think I could do now because I play so slowly. Again, now that I play the game slightly differently to back then, I play so slowly that I have to play some games offline to be able to keep the save moving on. I've done one save this year. It's 11 seasons in, and that's my one save for the entire, game cycle. I just couldn't do it anymore. But this save every single game live on Twitch. This guy's my new captain. Great leadership. I say new captain. He's been here for a few years now. Look, 5.75 million. Alexander Pilyavsky signed for. Great player. Love him a lot. Into the attackers, I mean, there was obviously players that have come and gone during this time. We're 11 seasons in or so, right? Marcelo Bianchi is a nice story. We brought him early on. This guy was so injured. Probably the worst injury proneness of any player I've ever had, but I loved him anyway. We signed him for 63 million. He played 3 seasons and then we sold him for 150 mil. Because you can't say no to a bid like that, can you really? He went to Chelsea. We've just got him back in the final season, which I love the narrative around doing stuff like that. So Marcelo Bianchi on the right-hand side. Kylian Mbappe playing left wing, because why not? We signed him for 150 million pounds. That's actually our biggest ever signing. I thought Drac was, but it was actually Mbappe. Mbappe, obviously, at this stage, a little bit younger than these days, of course. Still only 32 and still outrageously good. Look at the goal scoring record. There's 1 year. Was it first season? I think it was 49 starts, 52 goals. He was a serious player. I'm just going to digress once again, actually, because he was a serious player, but so was, if I go to general, a legend at the club, Sebastiano Esposito. Do you remember how good he was back in FM20, FM21, maybe even FM19? What a striker. 3 seasons he spent with us, but look at the goals that he scored. He got 37 and 43, Then he got 49 in 50 in one season. And we sold him for 150 million to Chelsea. Thank you, Chelsea, for giving us 300 million right there. Although I didn't want to lose Sebastiano Esposito, really. We did bring in this guy who hasn't got the goal scoring record, but is outrageously good. I'm sure you could agree. Aliou Diallo, only 24 still, is actually wanted by Real Madrid. Hasn't scored, I mean, he's done okay. Got 10 in 23 in the league this season. But look at him. What a beast of a striker. Then just going down the bench quickly. Nicolo Armini, I'm going to come back to Carl Collier, by the way, my backup goalkeeper. Igor Khilman is now a bench player, although he's not really. I think he's played 47 games this year, so he's not really a bench player. He's probably in ahead of Diallo, to be honest, because he's my guy. He's got 34 and 47 this year. Not too shabby at all, right? Erling Haaland's here. We had him early. Again, he's another one that we've brought back because he was available. 50 million signed for, scored all the goals for 3 years. This is when he was like the go-to signing in basically any save before he became amazing. Bit of foreshadowing as well, actually. Man City signed him for 102 million. Eventually, we've just got him back. I love the narratives of bringing these players back. I brought him back in because why not? And we did just win a Champions League with him. He got 17 goals. Look, he's a sub at this stage. I want to shout out Dominic Szoboszlai as well. He's been here from the start. 2019-20, 22 million. Plays so many games every year. This is before, obviously, he became a Liverpool player. What a player he was. And then there's 2 more players that I want to focus on. These guys, there's a lot of young players who are also pretty good. I want to focus on 2 players. First of all, I don't know what I was up to during this save, but I was just having fun on Twitch. And we brought in Carl Collier, we actually brought him in because he was the England goalkeeper, and we were the England manager. I made him our goalkeeper for England. And you may notice something quite interesting about his profile here. He got 49 caps for England. That's whatever. I gave him most of them. He scored 12 goals. I don't know why, but I remember we just made him the penalty taker. And I think I even played him up front in some games because why not? We were England and they're really good. He got 12 goals. That's more than like some serious England strikers over the years. He scored more goals than. That was just one thing we were doing. And the other thing that we were doing is focusing on another save hero. Dirk Sprint. A 22-year-old German. He doesn't look like a footballer with the face we gave him. And you'll notice that by his profile, he's rubbish. But he's played 65 games for us and scored 9 goals because he became a cult hero. One time because we had to play him, his first season, we had a complete injury crisis. This was in 25-26. Injury crisis. We had nobody to play left back except this guy who was left-footed. He wasn't even a left back. I've retrained him to be able to play left back. He was a defensive midfielder. We stuck him in at left back and he did okay. He became a cult hero, and then from that point onwards, we just forced him into the team whenever we could so that he could come in and score goals. This season, he got 5 goals. Look, 6 goals in all competitions. Whenever we got a penalty, in fact, if I go back, I'm sure I could find one of these. Where was his most recent goal? If I scroll through, I'm sure that it will tell the story of what I was doing. I mean, there's a goal from Carl Collier taking a penalty. That's the goalkeeper taking one for Hertha there. I mean, does it say how many goals he's got for us? I don't think it even lists where they got goals. Yeah, he's got 1 goal, look, for us. So there's the keeper taking penalties. If I scroll up, there will be a Dirk Sprint penalty. There's one, look, 72nd minute. There will be one there, look. I don't know if he did start. So Dirk Sprint starts in midfield here, takes the penalty in the 4th minute because we have to just force him to take the penalties. I'm sure there will be one on this list. I've gone back another season where we've brought him on early to score a penalty. I mean, he scored here. It wasn't even a penalty. He scored I played him striker in a random game, look, where we lost on penalties. That's how serious I was taking this, I think. We're just having fun. He started up front and scored an actual goal. We need to go and see it, don't we? He's so bad. Like, you saw his profile. This is not a good footballer. I started him up front in this game and he actually scored. He also scored his penalty, look, took the first pen in the shootout. This was the goal that he scored. I mean, it's a great goal. It's a fantastic goal. Nudged in towards the end. I'm sure there is a time where you can see that even if it's early in the game, I brought him off the bench to take the penalties because I was really forcing it onto him. I can't find it. I've searched for it. I know that it existed. There's a game where after 9 minutes, I've brought Dirk Sprint on to take the penalty because we've got a penalty. That's how much I was trying to force this to happen. I did find this game though, and I think this really does sum up the save in general, really. It's a Bundesliga game. We've beaten Wolfsburg 5-1. Egor Khilman has scored 4, and the other goal scored by Dirk Sprint with a penalty. Look, we got the penalty in. Well, actually, we just brought him on. I was going to say I think we brought him on for the pen. We didn't. We brought him on just because we were winning. We put him up front, I think, and he scored the penalty in the 76th minute. I think that just sums up how we were just loving life doing this. And it was a magical time, as I said. We did, of course, also go and win things like the Champions League. If I go to competitions, and maybe if I go to history, the Champions League, we won it this year. If we go to the Champions League, we won it 1, 2, 3, 4 years in a row. Let's Go won it 1 year, and we won it the year before that. I want to also show you the biggest bottle job that I've ever done. I don't know if I'm going to be able to click on it anymore, but there was a time where we lost to Real Madrid in the Champions League, and it was the worst bit of management I think I've ever done. Here it is. Now, I don't know if I can click on this. I can't, but here is the biggest bottle job I've ever done. We were 3-1 up from the first leg. Diogo Jota scored for Real Madrid. We came back. Khilman, Mbappe and Goluz with the goals. 3-1 up from the first leg, going to the Bernabeu with a 2-goal advantage. We get to the Bernabeu, and just don't look at this yet. 76 minutes in, we make it 4-1 on aggregate. After that, I can't look at it, it's such a shame. 4-1 up with 15 minutes to play. We somehow transpire to lose. We lost the game. Everton scored twice. Nuno Tavares, of all people, scored in the 90th minute to take it. That made it 4-4 on aggregate. We take it to extra time. Everton scores again. Bloody Everton. Yeah, he wasn't even... the name Everton as well in itself. And then Nathan Ake in the 120th minute to win it for Real Madrid. It was the worst thing I've ever done. And, I mean, what was that? 26, 27. I'd love to say that we won the Champions League the year after. We did. We made amends. Kylian Mbappe scores the winner, a penalty. This might even been our first Champions League win, to be honest. Was it our first Champions League win? 2026, 27. No, yeah, 2026. Look, it was our first ever one. So there you go. We made amends. What a save. What a journey. There's so many other storylines I could tell you about as well. I just wanted to share it with you because I love going down memory lane. I love reminiscing. I love chatting about the fun things in Football Manager. So hopefully you've enjoyed this video. Do let me know what your best ever save is personally. And also, who would you like for me to get onto the channel and to discuss their best ever saves? Maybe some fellow content creators, if you want to suggest those in the comments down below, and I can reach out. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day. Please subscribe to the channel because we're just plugging along before FM25. We're still aiming for 100k here on the channel, of course. Hopefully you guys are going to be here for that journey too. Have a lovely rest of your day. I'll catch you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.